Right now at 5, we'll hear from a few area residents on what New Year's traditions they do.
And we're kicking off the year with some pretty cold temperatures.
Plus, Pittsburgh first responders pull a woman from a burning building Monday afternoon.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Lindsay Gaffney.
Happy New Year,
Happy
2025. It's finally here. We're waking up a little bit earlier than probably most people are celebrating the new year, but you know.
Did you do anything special last night?
No, I didn't.
Just slept.
I mean, I did set an alarm though for midnight,
Okay.
so I could just ring in the new year because I've never missed it. So
Really?
I've never missed it.
I don't think I have either, but it would have, I did
do?
stay up. Well, a dog wandered into my house last night. Actually, that was crazy. But so I got to spend the new year with a new friend, so it was just me and the dogs. But it was pretty cold outside, and it's going to stay cold outside actually for the next couple of weeks. We even have a big winter weather system coming up. So let's go ahead and take a look outside. Temperatures right now are down in the 20s. Now, mostly clear skies though as we head into this evening, so it's going to be pretty good. 29 in Joplin, 28 in Pittsburgh, 26 in Yates Center and Sedan, 30 still in Grove, so not so bad. Temperatures are going to drop a couple more degrees as we head into the start of the morning, but outside of that, it's looking like a pretty good day. Calm weather for the next couple of days. These clouds are going to clear out. We're going to have mostly sunny skies to start off our morning. Temperatures about 28 degrees by 8 a.m., warming up to the lower to mid 30s by the time we head into the mid-morning, late morning, and then our highs for the day getting into the low 40s. So it's going to be about 40 to about 44 degrees out there today for the highs, and chilly but sunny, so it's going to be pretty nice over the next couple of days. However, we do have a big system that's going to be coming in later on this weekend, starting Saturday, where we could see rain, ice, even snow chances. So this is our snow tracker that we have the potential to see as we head into the weekend. This is mostly going to be occurring late Sunday afternoon and evening, where we could see up to 6 inches in the northern counties, but trending a little bit less as we head into the southern counties. Less than an inch, Joplin, Pittsburgh, and south, and then down to little to no accumulation in the southern counties. So we definitely see the potential for some sort of wintry mix as we head into the system coming in. Big Arctic blast is going to drop our highs down to around freezing for the next week. But I'll have a full look coming up.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. Well, at the New Year's Eve comes annual traditions and New Year's Day as well. One popular tradition is to watch or set off fireworks. KOAM's Melissa Alexis spoke to some people about their New Year's Eve traditions.
Many people have an annual New Year's Eve tradition they like to follow, like making black-eyed peas for dinner, eating 12 grapes at midnight, or even spending the holiday with loved ones.
My tradition on New Year's Eve is spending time with my family,
Which happens to be 4th grader Brady Strukel's favorite way to spend the holiday.
It's my uncle. He comes down and I really never get to see him, and that's just a special time for me.
Another New Year's Eve tradition is watching or setting off fireworks, which is why the seasonal fireworks store, Central City Fireworks in Joplin, is open.
A huge U.S. tradition, but especially in our area, there's not a lot of public displays for fireworks. So we do have a lot of customers that want to come in and shoot them off themselves.
Something she wants to remind people as people are purchasing fireworks to celebrate New Year's Eve is to remember safety precautions.
Make sure you brace them up when you light them. You can put a concrete block on either side of them. You can stake them with some rebar.
According to the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission, over 9,000 people were treated at emergency rooms for injuries involving fireworks in 2023. Which is why the manager at Central City Fireworks takes specific safety measures when she sets off fireworks.
At our celebrations is we put a barrier between us and the crowd, whether that be a table turned on its side or a piece of plywood, just some kind of barrier. If something would happen and it'd get away and tip over, it would hit the barrier instead of the crowd.
She says while Central City Fireworks tends to see a bigger influx of customers during the 4th of July, Fireworks are also a great way to celebrate New Year's Eve.
It's fun, it's an adrenaline rush, it's exciting, it's beautiful. Fireworks are just fun.
Reporting in Joplin, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
Now, coming up later on the KOAM Morning News, our very own Lonnie Walton tells us more about another New Year's Eve tradition, making and sticking to those New Year's resolutions. Authorities respond to an SUV versus motorcycle crash outside of Carl Junction. The crash took place around 2 p.m. Monday at the four-way stop at the intersection of Lone Elm and the Fountain Road. Authorities say the Chevy Tahoe driven by a 16-year-old failed to yield to a motorcycle. The 33-year-old Joplin woman driving the motorcycle suffered serious injuries. EMS transported her to a local hospital, and she has since been transferred to Springfield for a higher level of care. Well, first responders saved a woman from a house fire in Pittsburgh. The report came in around 4 in the afternoon on Monday when a caller said she was still in the residence. Pittsburgh police arrived first on the scene and forced entry into the house in an attempt to find the woman. Pittsburgh Fire Department arrived shortly after and managed to remove the woman to safety. The woman received minor injuries but was treated at the scene before being released. Responders contained the fire to the room of origin and extinguished it without any structural damage or fire spread. Well, huge crowds gathered around New York City's Times Square for last night's New Year's Eve celebration. While the annual ball drop will happen under heavy security, revelers were excited to be in the Big Apple to ring in the new year. Wendy Gillette has more.
It's never too early to grab a spot for the big ball drop overlooking Times Square.
What time did you get here?
6 a.m.
And you are a native New Yorker coming here.
Yes, ready. I'm in for the long haul.
How many times have you been?
8 years in a row.
By the time midnight rolls around, the city estimates at least 1 million people will be here, waiting to ring in 2025.
We just came from Japan all the way here just to see this, just to feel the crowd.
The famous ball drop dates back to 1907. This year's spectacle features a 12,000-pound ball made of 2,500 crystals. It has already been put to the test.
We're ready. Let's celebrate.
Revelers will have mild weather for their New Year's Eve endurance challenge here in Times Square. But the forecast takes a twist this evening with a substantial chance of rain in the hours leading up to midnight.
New Year's Eve in Times Square is one of law enforcement's biggest challenges. The NYPD and state and federal agencies are monitoring the area with more than 70,000 cameras, roadblocks, and heavy trucks and drones.
We have plainclothes teams, K-9 teams, and officers on horsebacks and helicopters and on boats.
By the time the ball drops in New York, it's been a new year for hours in places like New Zealand and Hong Kong, where colorful fireworks displays lit up the skies. In Taiwan, fireworks flew out of skyscrapers. Revelers near and far hoping 2025 is their best year yet.
Happy New Year!
Wendy Gillette, CBS News, New York.
Now, the NYPD says there were no specific credible threats to Times Square. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes coming up on the KOAM Morning News. Well, 2024 was quite the year in sports for the 4 states. We'll share a few of our top 10 moments from 2024. Plus, supporters of South Korean President Yoon show their support after warrants are issued for his detainment. And Lindsay Gaffney will have your full forecast and even the chances of snow. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Well, 2024 is over, and now it's time to look back at the previous 12 months and all the excitement that came with it in the 4 states. Here are the most viewed local sports stories of the year from our website. Now we'll start with the #1 most viewed story of the year. That comes from the spring when the Joplin Outlaws announced they were under new leadership and would be switching leagues. After several seasons competing as a member of the Mink League, the Outlaws left to join the Mid-America League, which was in its first year of existence. Under the direction of that new ownership, the Outlaws went on to win the Mid-America League Championship in August. And our second most viewed local sports story of 2024 is the Webb City 12U All-Stars advancing to the Midwest Regional Championship. Webb City Little League is one of the most consistent powerhouses in our area, and 2024 marks the third consecutive season that it has won the Missouri State Championship. And this year, Webb City won its first 3 regional games in Whitestown, Indiana, which sent them to the championship game. They got within 1 win of advancing to the Little League World Series in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Now, coming in at number 3 on the list, this was obviously a big one. Leon Miller returns to Frontenac High School as its head football coach. He held that position from 1989 to 2005 and led the Raiders to 1 state championship and 2 state runner-up finishes in that time. In its first season back with Frontenac this fall, Miller helped guide the Raiders to an undefeated regular season record and a CNC League championship. Now, the fourth most viewed local sports story of the year belongs to the Diamond Wildcats softball team when they beat Willow Springs 13-3 in the Class 2 semifinals to advance to the state championship. We're a bit surprised that this one had more views than a day later when the Wildcats did in fact win the Class 2 state title. But nevertheless, this was one of the most special teams we've had the privilege of covering in the 4 states in 2024, and it's fitting that the Wildcats would finish their season with a state championship. And rounding out the top 5 is the season preview for the Pittsburgh high school football team. We're not surprised at this story making it on the list. And we know the passion for high school football runs deep in the 4 states, and the Purple Dragons have a ton of supporters. This year's Pittsburgh team put together a very solid season, and they went undefeated against SEK League opponents en route to a 6-2 regular season record and lost to the eventual state champion St. Thomas Aquians in the regional championship. We don't have time to give you the entire top 10. For that full list, you can head over to KOAMnewsnow.com. But here's one more for you from the next 5 most viewed stories. That's Pittsburgh State and Ferris State football setting up a home-and-home series for the 2024 and 2025 seasons. The Gorillas won the 2024 season opener against the Bulldogs 19-3. Ferris State did not lose another game all season and went on to win the Divisional II National Championship. Well, still to come, yesterday marked the 5th year anniversary of the start of a pandemic that took over the world. Plus, a check of the 10-day forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Well, taking a look at downtown Pittsburgh, we have clouds clearing, and overall it's a pretty nice night. However, it is cold. Temperatures are down in the 20s already, and we're going to stay like that for the next couple of weeks. Now, clouds still in the area. However, as we move into later morning hours, they are going to start to clear. We're really on the just outskirts of those clouds, and then heading into a bit of a warm up as we head into Thursday. Warm front coming in later on tonight, which is going to drop or warm up our temperatures comparatively from how they've been today and yesterday. So Monday afternoon, we were up in the low 60s. We had a cold front come through, and we can just continue to drop with highs only warming up to the low 40s, so almost a 15-degree drop Tuesday. And then as we head into today, we're about the same, low 40s for the highs, clear skies. So by 7:30, temperatures are going to be in the mid-20s, 23 in Yates Center, 27 in Joplin, 29 in Bella Vista. So we're definitely in the 20s. It's going to be pretty cold. Winds out of the northwest. Few clouds move in. Here's our warm front that's coming in Wednesday evening. So this evening, few clouds along that front, but not expecting any rain chances. And then we head into Thursday midday, where we do see a cold front coming in pretty quickly after that warm front passes. Again, mostly just clouds. We might get a stray shower or two, but temperatures are going to be a little bit warmer Thursday, and then they start to drop again. So Thursday highs getting into the mid to upper 40s. Now by 10 a.m. we're already in the low 40s, upper 30s. Overcast skies. You can see where the showers are just northeast of us, up in Kansas City and a little bit further south. kind of making it to some of our northeastern counties. Nevada, Stockton area might see some showers, but really most of us are just going to stay dry, and then clouds clear again. And then we have a pretty just calm weather pattern until we hit this weekend. Starting on Saturday, we have a consistency in models that we are going to see some form of wintry mix. However, the last couple of model runs have been trending a little bit further north, so confidence is still lower until we get closer to the event. But by 7 a.m., might start to see a few isolated showers pushing in. And then later in the day into the evening, we're going to switch from rain to more of a sleet and freezing rain mix. So we're definitely getting ice in some form by Saturday evening, rain, a little bit of ice, and then heading into the overnight hours when this cold front moves through, you can see where that low pressure system kind of rotates over us, front pushes in, temperatures drop very quickly behind that front, down into the low 30s to 20s already. So this is 9:30 Sunday, 27 degrees in Yates Center, 32 in Parsons, 30 in Nevada, still above freezing out in Joplin, 36. So we're still getting a little bit of rain mixed with some freezing rain. Now here's the deal with this is even if we just get rain and maybe a little ice, overnight lows dropping down below freezing, ice will still form on the road. So driving conditions will be dangerous with this system no matter what. And then we have the potential that we could see some snow on top of whatever freezes overnight. Now this is Sunday afternoon, a little bit of snowfall in the northern counties out to the northeast, clearing by Sunday evening. Now clearing before Monday morning, however, I know school is kind of getting back into session, so we do see the potential that we could see some form of snow. Now, continuing into the rest of the forecast after that, temperatures are very cold with highs only getting into the lower 30s and overnight lows in the teens. So we have a cold system coming up and a cold couple of weeks. We'll be back after this.
Well, Topic Health Watch this morning. Norovirus cases are on the rise in some parts of the U.S. Now, the CDC says there were more than 90 outbreaks of the virus reported during the first week of December, up from 69 outbreaks the last week of November. Norovirus is the leading cause of foodborne illnesses in the nation, and it's responsible for nearly 60% of infections. The virus spreads from people who are already infected through sharing utensils and food. Now, it can also spread through water, food, or contaminated surfaces. Health officials recommend people to wash their hands often and to clean surfaces with disinfectants to help protect from the virus. Well, working from home is a perk many employees in the country are enjoying, but new research shows it might not be as beneficial for your social skills. A poll by online company ResumeBuilder.com found 1 in 4 remote workers say their social skills have declined since working from home. Now, researchers surveyed 1,000 U.S. workers and found that millennials are the age group struggling the most. The data found that many employees have difficulty with initiating conversation, maintaining eye contact, and participating in group discussions. The study also found 57% of responders say working from home has increased their sense of isolation. Now, despite these drawbacks, only 4 out of 10 workers would like to return to the office at least once a week. Well, it's been 5 years since COVID first emerged, but the controversy over how it started is not going away. Greg Palkett has more from London.
It was a pandemic that changed the world. Exactly 5 years ago, December 31st, 2019, health authorities in Wuhan, China, alerted the World Health Organization about a cluster of pneumonia cases of unknown origin. At first, we called it coronavirus, then COVID-19. It ended up killing millions around the world, and the virus is still with us today. Now the WHO is urging China to come clean and share data about the origins of the outbreak, calling it a moral and scientific imperative. China pushed back almost immediately, saying it has not been holding back information that could have saved lives, and suggested the criticism is politically motivated.
China has always upheld the spirit of scientific openness and transparency. At the same time, we firmly oppose any form of political manipulation.
But significant questions remain about exactly how the pandemic started. The Chinese government claims it was a natural spillover from animals to humans, possibly from a so-called wet market. But many lawmakers on Capitol Hill and President-elect Trump suggested COVID-19 was developed in a Chinese research lab and leaked out into the city of Wuhan. Trump has hinted he might withdraw the U.S. from the WHO unless the organization gets tougher on China.
We're ready to work together.
Trump initiated the process for pulling out of the WHO in 2020, but it was reversed 6 months later when Joe Biden took office.
And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
Well, we're heading into the new year, and temperatures are going to drop down to below average for the next couple of weeks. We even see our first big winter weather system coming in this weekend. I'm going to have all those details coming up.
Right now at 5:30, police in Afton are looking for two men who overpacked a public dumpster.
And we're kicking off the new year with some colder temperatures and even a winter system coming in this weekend.
Plus, we'll hear from a few local residents on how they plan to keep their New Year's resolutions.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:30. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Lindsay Gaffney.
Yes, and it is the start of 2025.
I'm excited. Are you?
I am excited. Did 2024 flow by, did it go by fast for you?
It went by so quickly. I mean, I've been here now a year.
Yes.
Which is
exciting.
That is exciting.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, did it even happen? I don't know.
I guess we'll.
2025, I think, is going to be great, though. I'm super excited.
I hope it'll not go by as fast.
Yeah.
We can enjoy it just a tiny bit more. And with the cold weather, it's going to feel like it's going to be going on for a while.
Yeah, I think cold weather does go a little bit. It takes a little bit longer to get through. But yeah, temperatures are going to be pretty cold the next couple of weeks. But let's go ahead and take a look outside. We have mostly clearing skies as we head into the morning. And temperatures are going to be pretty cold, down in the 20s now. 29 Miami, Joplin, 28 in Neosho, 26 in Iola, Yates Center. So we have a light northwesterly breeze. That's going to continue into the morning. But we do have a warm front coming in later on this evening, not bringing any rain showers, but it is going to bring a few clouds as we head into the late afternoon hours. Once this clears, we have a sunny day, and then we kind of switch on over to clouds moving in. So temperatures today getting into the mid to upper 30s by about noon, and then highs for the day low 40s, so we're still a little bit cooler. Once that warm front comes in later on this evening, though, we are going to see a bit of a warm up into the Thursday, but another cold front comes in, and then on top of that we have a winter Arctic blast moving in Saturday. We're going to see potential for rain, ice, sleet, freezing rain, and even snow. So our snow chances as we head into Sunday is where we're really going to see that spike in snow chances, up to maybe 5-6 inches in the north, very far north, Yates and Iola. But further south, central counties, only about ½ inch to an inch of snow, and then further south, just a light flurries to a little bit of a dusting. But the main concern this weekend, in my opinion, is going to be the freezing rain and the ice on the roads as we start Monday morning and into the rest of the week. But I'll have a full look coming up.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. Well, authorities in Afton, Oklahoma want to thank the public for tips they've provided concerning an incident involving excessive dumping. Now, the incident, which led to the removal of a dumpster from behind the Afton City Hall, took place last week. Now, trash on Friday had piled over the dumpster until the excess piled up around the area. Now, trash services were unable to empty the dumpster as the area was too piled up with garbage to get near it. Authorities believe this man is responsible for dumping on the grounds around the dumpster. Afton police are asking the public to please contact them if they have information regarding either of the men in the photo. Well, some places in the 4 states kicked off their New Year's celebration a little early yesterday. St. Bridget Catholic Church in Scammon, Kansas got in on the holiday fun with a Ring in the New Year bash. Now, the church invited kids and adults of all ages to the event to take part in some fun and games such as flip cup, tic-tac-toe, and yummy milk and cookie martinis.
Idea for our church family to do together, and also it kind of benefits both ends of the spectrum, the little kids that don't need to stay up until midnight, and also the older people of our parish who don't want to stay up until midnight or don't need to be driving after dark. So it's a good way to bring us all together.
The event started at 10:30 and didn't end until they rang in the new year. Oh, we each hope for blessings and success in 2025 and strive to endure challenges. KOAM's Lonnie Walton spoke with some folks at the North Park Mall in Joplin who hope to do just that.
My New Year's resolution is to beat cancer.
Joe Erie is a 40-year-old father from Kansas. Right now, he's battling testicular cancer, the one he says should be the easiest cancer to fight, but unfortunately, not for him.
Keep getting better, but it keeps coming back. But I fall on a 2%.
We also met Jonathan Fleshman, who says he's also battling his own demons.
A recovering addict that's been struggling for a very long time.
And he admits he's made a few mistakes.
Wrong people, wrong places.
But his mother is doing what most look forward to doing in the new year.
My New Year's resolution, I've lost 140 pounds so far. Walk to get healthier.
Yep, and as you may know, that's number 1 on the resolution list.
Exercise, eat healthy.
My New Year's resolution this year is to lose some weight.
Just eat better in general.
And I guess you can imagine what's on the younger minds these days. School.
Hoping to get good grades this year.
New Year's resolution is to not fail all my classes like I did this year.
To graduate on time.
Basically, like, graduate.
Is to graduate on time.
And with that said, both Erie and Fleshman says they have a few words for those battling demons.
My faith in Christ.
And if you don't have a family, at least find God, because that's where it's at.
And that was the biggest advice from these Joplin residents, to never lose hope and never give up. Reporting in Joplin, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
Now, according to a Forbes poll, New Year's resolutions last only about 3 months on average. And just like national polls, most folks Lonnie spoke with said they have struggled to keep their previous resolutions. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Researchers are using mice and VR to help gain new insights into human disorders. Plus, a massive blackout leaves many in Puerto Rico in the dark before the new year. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Well, topping World Watch, supporters of South Korea's embattled president gather to defend him following a court order related to his martial law declaration. Loyalists to President Yoon Suk-yeol rallied outside the presidential palace Tuesday, chanting slogans, carrying signs, and denouncing opposition party lawmakers in the National Assembly. And the supporters took to defending Yoon after a court issued warrants to detain him and search his office for evidence of rebellion, following his brief declaration of martial law for the country on December 3rd. Yoon had refused to appear at an investigation for questioning for a third time Sunday. It's the first time a warrant has been issued against a sitting South Korean president, with experts saying detention or searches aren't likely unless Yoon is removed from office. Well, the U.S. Treasury Department is now imposing sanctions on Russia and Iran over accusations of interference with the 2024 election. The U.S. agency alleges Iranian and Russian entities of trying to interfere by using artificial intelligence to disseminate false information. Now, in a statement, the department says a subsidiary of Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps and an organization affiliated with Russia's military intelligence agency aim to stoke socio-political tensions. The sanctions target relatively minor entities and are unlikely to have major economic effects. The U.S. launches multiple airstrikes on Houthi targets in Yemen. Plumes of smoke can be seen over the capital of Sana'a on Tuesday after an attack on several Iran-backed Houthi facilities overnight. U.S. Central Command says it targeted a Houthi command and control center and advanced conventional weapon production and storage facilities. Military officials say the facilities were used in Houthi operations, including attacks against U.S. Navy warships and merchant vessels. U.S. Navy and U.S. Air Force aircraft also destroyed a Houthi coastal radar site and 7 cruise missiles over the Red Sea. Many Puerto Ricans are ringing in the new year in the dark. That's due to a critical failure in Puerto Rico's power grid that has caused a massive blackout. The blackout began Tuesday morning, affecting over 1.4 million users, or 90% of power customers on the island. Sherelle Hubbard has more details.
A massive power outage in Puerto Rico has its population scrambling. The power went out 5:30 a.m. Tuesday, leaving island dwellers waking up in the dark. Residents spent the better part of Tuesday getting gas to run generators. Some expressed their frustration, saying the outage is affecting them at an inopportune time.
I understand it's a critical situation. A day like today, New Year's Eve, well, we'll be in a difficult situation.
Puerto Rico's governor says a critical failure in the island's power grid caused the blackout. He said the government and providers are working to restore service as quickly as possible. Luma Energy, a power company responsible for power distribution and transmission on the island, says it'll take up to 48 hours to reach full restoration.
Complete frustration. Frustration, disappointment in the government, in the institutions, and everything.
Power outages on the island have been an ongoing source of frustration throughout the years. The island's inconsistent power system has faltered before.
More than the holidays, what worries me is this country's development. I work here in the pharmaceutical industry. No industries that really want to invest in this country will come here if we don't improve the infrastructure.
I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
At 7 p.m. last night, Luma Energy reported that more than 336,000 customers' power had been restored. President Joe Biden has been briefed by the Homeland Security Advisor on the widespread power outages across Puerto Rico. Now, also, Secretary of Energy Jennifer Granholm spoke with the governor of Puerto Rico and the president's direction offered to provide any federal assistance that they need to speed power restoration. And that's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
Well, we're starting off January 1st with mostly clearing skies this morning, and then temperatures are still pretty cold in the mid to upper 20s, Now, clouds are going to clear out here shortly in the next couple of hours, and then we're looking at a mostly sunny New Year's Day. We have a bit of a warm up from a warm front coming in, but really the next couple of days with our pattern, it's going to be pretty calm. We have a couple of chances for some cooler temperatures down the road and even a big Arctic blast this weekend. But until then, we've just been consistently dropping in temperatures since our initial cold front that came through Monday night. That dropped our temperatures down to about average, and we're going to stay like that for the next couple of weeks before we warm back up consistently. Now, taking a look at our future tracks through the morning, by 7:30 in the morning, we're going to see mostly clear skies. All the clouds have cleared out of here. Temperatures are still going to be in those mid to lower, even to upper 20s. 23 in Yay Center, 28 in Nevada, 27 in Joplin, and 26 in Pittsburgh, 29 in Bella Vista. And then we continue through the day. Still mostly sunny, a few clouds, and then a warm front comes through later in the evening. So you can see how our winds are kind of rotating out of the south, and we even have a few clouds pushing in as well. By this evening, temperatures are going to start to drop down into the 30s and even down lower 30s, upper 20s for overnight low. Now, a cold front moves in pretty quickly as we head into Thursday as well. Front is just north of us by 7 a.m. So you can see where the winds are shifting just outside of Wichita and Kansas City. A little bit of snow chances up in Kansas City along with some rain chances. Clouds move into our area, though we stay mostly dry. However, with the rain chances kind of creeping in south of Kansas City, we could see maybe them clipping Nevada, Stockton area, maybe even as far west as Fort Scott, but that front moves in, winds then move out of the north, and we have another temperature drop for the next couple of days. Then we head to the weekend. That's where we're going to see our big Arctic blast chances as we head into the next week. So starting Saturday morning, might see a couple of isolated showers earlier in the day, kind of switching then from light showers to maybe some heavier rain and even freezing rain and sleet chances. So heading into Saturday evening, about 11:30 p.m., we're going to start to see those freezing rain chances kind of rotating back in as that front passes on Sunday. So here's our low pressure kind of right on top of us. So we're seeing winds rotating around it. Outside of this low pressure, as it passes, winds are out of the north, temperatures drop pretty quickly. So this is kind of moving in early Sunday morning. Following that, temperatures are dropping. We switch from a rain-ice mixture to mostly just a snow mixture, but again, mostly in the northern counties, and it's been trending a little bit further north in the last couple of hours. So we're going to keep an eye on this. Confidence is low that we're going to see a lot of snow, but we could still see some snow, especially on the tail end of this system. So by Sunday afternoon, mostly just snow to a little bit of freezing rain still sticking around. Temperatures are pretty cold, and then the snow clears out Sunday night. Now, as it clears out, that's not so bad. We're starting off Monday morning with clear skies. However, with the potential that we're going to see ice on the ground, could have some major impacts on driving conditions. So the actual ice that falls from the sky, about 1/4 of an inch to 1/10 of an inch in the northeast. However, with all the rain that we're getting in the further southern counties, and then overnight lows in the freezing temperatures, we could see ice still on the ground even though it doesn't fall from the sky. So driving conditions are going to be dangerous with this system, and then we could see maybe a little bit of snow from 1/10 of an inch all the way to about 5 inches in the far north. We're excited to see maybe a little bit of snow, but with the ice, it is going to be possibly dangerous driving conditions as we head into the start of next week. And then you can see temperatures are pretty cold until or following that system. Now, until then, we're going to be bouncing around in the 40s. And that's a look at your 10-day forecast. We'll be right back.
Well, scientists hook mice up to teeny tiny virtual reality headsets, and Santa Claus leads police on a short and strange motorcycle pursuit. Here's today's Take a Look at This.
Take a look at teeny tiny mice testing out teeny tiny virtual reality goggles in the name of science. In a study published in the journal Nature Methods, Cornell University researchers created the tiny VR headsets using low-cost components like smartwatch displays and lenses, and then strapped in their tiny test subjects, subjecting them to various visual stimuli. Researchers say in one test involving an approaching dark blotch, nearly every mouse tested jumped as if to avoid a looming predator. The idea was to gain a better understanding of how animals behave in virtual reality, and researchers believe the tests of the animals' spatial navigation and memory functions could lead to new insights into disorders such as Alzheimer's disease and its potential treatments. From virtual reality to virtually surreal, a Florida Highway Patrol trooper was involved in a short but strange pursuit of a speeding motorcycle rider dressed as Santa Claus. FHP says the costumed rider was reported driving recklessly and at speeds north of 120 miles per hour, but after this close Kris Kringle encounter, they lost sight of the jolly joyrider and discontinued the pursuit. Finally, an apparent change of heart led to a happy ending in Colorado when, after a baby Jesus figurine was stolen from a Fort Collins nativity display, the small statue was returned to a fire station days later with a handwritten, repentant note reading, "I am really sorry. I made a dumb mistake in the moment. It won't happen again." For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Glad to see the statue return back. Stick around, we'll be right back. Well, hundreds gathered in Hong Kong on Saturday to watch the city's first pyrotechnics drone show as part of a campaign to raise support and awareness of panda conservation. The 10-minute drone show featured 1,000 drones, some of which were equipped with fireworks flying over Hong Kong's Victoria Harbor and forming images of the city's giant pandas. And San Antonio Spurs center Victor Wembanyama turned heads on Saturday by playing chess with fans in New York City's Washington Square Park. It started with a post by Wembanyama on X, formerly known as Twitter, that read, "Who wants to meet me at the southwest corner of Washington Square Park to play chess. I'm there. Dozens of people showed up despite the rain, and this is the 20-year-old Frenchman's second season in the NBA. The 7'3" star earned unanimous Rookie of the Year honors last year.
Well, we are starting off the new year with chances to see a bit of snow coming up this weekend, maybe up to 5 inches, but mostly we're going to be a little light dusting to maybe about 3 inches of snow as we head into Sunday. Until then, temperatures are going to be mild, bounce around in the 40s, just about average. Light chances of rain on Thursday, mostly just cloudy though, and just calm weather until that system hits us later on Saturday, where we could see all modes of weather, rain, ice, and snow until early Monday morning, and then temperatures are going to be much colder following that system. We'll be right back.
Stream KOAM News now on the TV app, available for iOS.